Hey y'all, it's your girl Just Free coming at you with another video. Feel free to hit the like, share, subscribe. Thanks for tuning into my channel. So today we're gonna do a reaction video on from Kendra G singles show. So let's get into it.
It is. It is. I didn't realize I was going to put my whole government up here.
Well, it just says Veronica. It doesn't say your last name.
All right. Oh, I'm in South Carolina, Columbia, South Carolina.
So Columbia, South Carolina. South Carolina. How old are you, love?
I'm going to be 43 next week.
Okay, 43. So you are Aquarius or Pisces?
Pisces for sure.
Pisces. What you do for a living, mama?
I'm a registered nurse. I work from home and I run a media business as well.
Okay. So you're RN
hmm
and you run a media business. Do you have any children?
I do. I have two boys,
Two boys. How
17
old are
and
your
10.
boys, love? Huh?
17 and 10.
17 and 10. Are they both by the same man?
No, they're not. Two different
Okay, two men. Have
relationships.
you ever been married?
I have, yeah. Divorced.
When did you get to say again, honey?
I'm divorced
Divorce. When did you get divorced?
last June
Last
2023.
year. Okay, last year.
Fair use, fair use, fair use. I just don't want to get a copyright strike. So
All right, let's get into it. So we got Veronica, South Carolina, 43 Pisces, a RN, and also owns her own media business. A mom of two boys, married once, got divorced last year. What kind of man you looking for, girl?
Um, I think somebody who wants, I guess, not traditional. So somebody who understands, like, let's be friends first and let things unfold organically. Somebody who's not trying to just meet me and then have sex on the first date, because that's what I'm running into. Is men, like, they take you on one date and then it's like by then they're like, okay, are you ready to get married? Let's do this. Just they're ready to just jump everything, like instant made family. So it's like,
so wait a minute. She meeting men that want to have sex on the first date. Um, and she's 42 years old. Okay, interesting.
I just really want somebody who wants to just have fun. Let's have fun. Let's be friends. Let's figure out if we just vibe. Our principles in line, our long term goals, are they in alignment? And let's just let things unfold organically. But the problem I'm running into is everybody just wants to just get into something serious so quickly. And so I
Yeah,
know
well,
I know that's
I
a little
think that's.
weird.
Go ahead, say it again, honey.
I know that's a little weird because most people are probably like, well, girl, that's what we want. But I just feel like it's a little bit of love bombing. So it's like, just can we just take our time and have fun?
Yes, I think with the sex equation, I think it's because sex is so easy to obtain these days that men almost, like you're right. You shouldn't feel like after you took me on a nice dinner, the next day I'm gonna have sex with you. But that's gonna be for women like yourself and others to start laying down the ground rules of how to date again. When women give up sex so easily, men just like, well, the last girl I dated slept with me, so that's where it be coming from. But no, I hear you, girlfriend. So what's your deal breakers?
Deal breakers for me are bad hygiene. You run into that a lot, believe it or not. So poor hygiene, somebody whose principles.
So wait a goddamn minute. She says she runs into bad hygiene. Girl, say what now? I just don't I don't know what to say about that. That is just that's crazy to me. I don't know if I would necessarily admit that.
Like, just and morals don't align with mine, because I'm not going to compromise on that. Like, you had a fellow on earlier on IG who said he doesn't like his women who eat bacon. So, like, I wouldn't date him because it's like, all right, I like bacon. So later on in the honeymoon phase, everything might be cool. You're saying like, it's okay, you could do that. But later on, when I start getting on your nerves, that could be something that ends up being a deal breaker. So if we're not in alignment with those things right away, I'm just not even gonna compromise if I know that doesn't work for me. If that makes sense.
Wait, what? Why she bring up the bacon guy? Because if he say he don't want his woman to eat bacon, then y'all wouldn't even be talking. Cause I like bacon too, so I don't. If he,
Sense. So poor hygiene. If we're just not in alignment with, things that we just vibe on, that's a deal breaker for me. And I think again, somebody who's like hypersexual, because that's a big problem now. It's like people are just that's the first thing that comes to people's minds. So those are my deal breakers.
Okay,
Like I will
okay.
leave a date and block you immediately after that.
After what?
Like you trying, like you bring up a sec, we're on a date and everything is great, the vibe is going good, conversation is great, and then they say something stupid like, I don't know, you're eating something, or the way that you grab your drink, and they like, damn, you got a really nice mouth, and it's like, what that mouth do? Okay, we gonna stop the date right then. Well, I'm gonna finish it. I'm not gonna be a jerk. We're gonna finish it. I'm gonna just let you know. I'm gonna check you and let you know. Stay in your place. Nice.
so two options. I think I would leave. My daughter said she would stay to the end of the date and just block them. I think I would get up and say I gotta go to the bathroom and just bow. But let's continue.
Sleep. But after that, if you continue like hypersexualizing everything, after the date is over, I'm just gonna blah blah let you know we're just like, I really wasn't feeling it. Thank you, I appreciate it. It was a good night, but chemistry's not there, and we're done. And I'm blocking you and moving on.
If a man asks me what my mouth do on a date, I'm getting up and I'm walking out, and
And
he
so,
gonna
and I
see
was
what my
seeing some of
legs
the
do.
comments, right? Because people always got something to say. So people are like, oh, it's the felon tats, the this, the that. Like maybe it might be the vibe you giving. I don't care if I showed up with pasties on my nipples and a thong. It still doesn't give you the right to sexualize me. If I didn't, but
I'm
I'm
gonna
showing
disagree
up and
with
I'm
that. If
dressed.
you show, well,
These are
I
your
will say
comments.
this, not listen. No, hold up, hold up, hold up. Not necessarily the tattoos, and we will get to that because I see a lot of people with tattoos. But no, if a woman showed up to a date,
Wait, is Kendra flossing and doing the show? No, she ain't flossing. She got me looking for my flaws. Hold on, y'all. Let me see if I can find my flaws. Wait a minute now. The pasty. She said something about some pasties. She can show up in pasties and the thong. Girl, I don't know where she getting these analogies from, but if you show up in a pasty and some thongs, girl, I mean that was just a weird that was a strange analogy. I don't get that. Women tend to think that you're supposed to get the same type of respect no matter what you do. And it just don't work like that. And so yeah, Kendra, she speaks on it too.
with pasties and her ass out, and then if a guy said to her what that mouth do, yes, it's disrespectful, but that is the way you were dressed.
Well, shit, the bitch in pasties is disrespectful. What the hell is she talking about? That this lady is crazy.
Yes, you have to. I mean, women, we do got to take accountability of how we present, right? So,
Exactly.
yes, it's wrong. But if you showed up with a pasties, just pasties and your ass out, you should expect.
Now, so initially I had listened to this prior, and I was thinking like, well, Kendra seemed to be just going a little too hard for an analogy. It was just an analogy, but it's a ridiculous analogy. Like, ma'am. So the fact that Kendra like was going there and taking it further, I'm okay with that now because it was a ridiculous analogy. Like that's just that don't even make sense. Like who says that? And this lady is 42.
A man and say, "What does that mouth do?" Now, if you didn't show up that way, or nor you act that way, if a man said that to me, I'm not. I'm out. I am standing up and I'm walking out, and it would be for him to figure out why the date ended. But I do want to talk about your tattoos. A lot of people in your tattoos are talking about your tattoos. So, what do you feel about, I guess, the cousin's perception of your tattoos?
I personally feel like it's everybody's preference. So some people like to do wild hairstyles. Some people like to dress like you had the gentleman on earlier that was
First of all, the question Um, you know, how do what do you think about how the cousins feel about the tattoos? Why would somebody give a damn about what the cousins think? That's not the real question. But let's continue.
kind of a little outlandish with his dress. I mean, it's everybody's preference, but it certainly doesn't define who I am. I'm still a professional woman. I own my own home. My kids go to private school. When I'm at work, people who work with me have no idea that I have tattoos, that I ride a motorcycle, any of those things. They don't know that about me because when I'm at work, I'm completely professional. I know how to separate the two.
Okay, but you had work is work and dating and trying to get a man. That's a whole different thing. So what the hell are we talking about here?
So who I am outside of work and my preferences is not who I am at work. Hey son, how are you? It's not who I am. So that doesn't define who I am. I mean, it's preference. Some people love them, some people don't. If it's for you, it's for you. If it's not, it's not.
Fair enough. I mean,
Ginger be asking these open ended questions like, girl, what is the people supposed to say? Shit. If she would be more specific in her questioning, then it would make more sense. But she just be like, well, what do you think about what the cousin said? Who gives a fuck about what the cousin say about my tattoos? The question should have been, and we'll get there at some point, kind of. I mean, if you want a specific kind of guy, a quality kind of dude, then yeah, the tattoos can make or break. Make the your pool of men um different.
yes, there are a group of men because I've had heard men say they have a no tattoo policy. So you're right. There are going to be some men that will automatically be turned off by it, though. But I think you don't mind. You don't want that man anyways.
Oh, it doesn't. I'm gonna tell you like this. I don't have a problem at all getting men to approach me or ask me on dates or anything. It's finding a quality of men. There's no issue with the quantity. It's the certain type and the quality. So, I mean, but
Well,
you'd be
okay. So I
surprised
want
how many.
Well, obviously, if it's the quality, then it's something with you. If it's the quality of men and it's not the quantity, of course men gonna ask you. They might ask you out to dinner and they'll fuck you, but like she even said, and it's gonna come back full circle. Like you can't get the quality. Make no mistake. Decent looking woman, hell, even Usher fucking 3, 4, 500 pound bitches. So women need to get an understanding that men will fuck you. That's not the issue.
you to hear what you
Professional
just said,
men.
though. So Veronica, I want you to hear what you just said. You have no problem with the quantity; it's the quality. So what you have to accept is the type of man you want. You're not attracted. This is what you're saying.
Exactly. And she gave it right back to her. The quality of men that she wants she's not attractive. Okay. And no, it don't have everything to do with the tattoos necessarily, but you know, um, it's still something that you have to look within yourself to say, okay, why am I not attractive? What I feel like I deserve, right? I mean, women have such a lack of self reflection. It's ridiculous. I have a relative, and I don't preach to her, but I've tried to say in the most. I don't know if I'm necessarily delicate. I'm not really delicate, but so, and I'm not abrasive, but I try to be um straightforward. I'm a lot of it. I'm a lot straightforward sometimes, so it can come off a little abrasive. But I try to explain to my relative, like yo, um, oh, that's my train of thought.
One of them. But I think so. I've worked in a hospital where
Oh, the self reflection. You have to look at some point. There is something that is sending off this signal, and I know for my this particular relative I'm thinking of, it's a lot. It's just a lot. And this lady, she's got her own different set of issues. But whatever that signal that you're sending out, if you're attracting a particular kind of guy, you have to try to get to the bottom of that. But a lot of women really, they have no clue because they don't think nothing's wrong with them, you know? And sometimes you just need what's the word? A little tweak, or you need just a little awareness will get you a long way. You know what I'm saying? Like, um, I told, I was telling my daughter and my niece, like, nobody has to accept you the way that you are. They don't have to do a mother flipping thing, you know. So you either present yourself in the best, put your best foot forward, because again, nobody has to accept you. Um, and you have to really consider what somebody else might be looking for. Because if you keep running into the same problem, it's gotta be you. Like, what the hell? And that's what I don't get my relative. I be trying to get my relative to understand. Like, you've got so much trauma that her energy just what's the word? It just emits all of this, you know, all of her daddy issues and, you know, just relationship trauma. And, God forbid I tell her, maybe, go see a therapist. Lord have mercy. You would have thought I said, you would have thought I told her to go jump off a bridge. But anyway, I'm getting too
I work with like neurosurgeons, cardiovascular surgeons, and they're completely covered in tattoos. So I think a tattoo doesn't.
Okay, let's be clear. Those neurosurgeons, majority are men. Okay, so whether or not you wanna admit that what's the word? The double standard, it is what it is. You're talking about men, okay? Not women tatted up from head to toe. There's a difference. Some women actually like men like that. And I mean, especially if he's a doctor, bitch, he got all kind of bitches. So you cannot compare yourself to a successful doctor that's tatted up.
Say the type of person that you are or aren't. So, I mean, if somebody's bothered with something as small as a tattoo, then we're not even going to set anywhere. Our mind.
And no, it's not. If somebody's as bothered with something as small as a tattoo, ma'am, hello, both arms and probably half your chest. She said, I think she ended up saying she had like 40 tattoos. So it's not just a small tattoo. It's not like you got a little something on your wrist, or like me, I got a little something on my arm. I had to tell my daughter, if you don't stop getting them tattoos, I'm gonna kick your ass. And she grown. But I'm like, yo, it's ridiculous. Like, cut it out. That is not cute. Um, so yeah, it's not just a little tattoo. Lady, you have sleeves on your arms. The hell?
Minds don't even think the same. So like if you had a six toe, I'm not gonna knock you out because you have a six toe. Like that's just it just is what it is. But that's okay. We're not in alignment. Again, that person is not in alignment with me, so therefore we're good. Let's just keep it pushing on to the next.
Okay. Well, I mean, all I wanted to do was for you to bring awareness of what you realized yourself. Like all the men that you are attracting are not the men that you desire, but the men that you desire because you're saying you're lacking the quality. And I'm not saying it's the tattoos is the reason. I will say the men that a lot of you guys describe have been on my show, and some of them have had a no tattoo. They didn't want women with tattoos. But I cannot say that that is the reason why you're not attracting all men that you perceive to be quality.
No, I'm attracting quality men, but I said my first issue I said I was having was going out on the dates is nobody wants to let things just unfold organically. It's like date one, and it's like, okay, so where do you see us going now? And then it's like immediately let's move into relationship. By date three, they're ready to just lock things down. And I get that at this age where we are, most of us have been married or divorced, and people are just ready to just move on. So the issue I'm having is like just let things unfold. Just let's not rush things,
Is
just
she?
get to know.
Here they go acting like men is just falling off the goddamn turnip truck. I get quality men. It's the need to be right for me, ma'am. Shout out to rest in peace, Kevin Samuels. I said what I said. If it's the if quality is not an issue, then there should be an issue. Why are you here? If I had two to three quality dudes coming after me, you mean to tell me I can't pick one out of the three? Girl, bye.
One another and see where things go. Because I think when you start to push things or you have an expectation or a perception of what something should be, you start to settle for things. You start to overlook red flags and you start to accept things that you wouldn't normally accept if you just stood back and took the time and just let things unfold naturally.
Fair
A
enough.
lot of people end
Now,
up in relationships and be unhappy because of that.
fair enough. Now, I could have heard you wrong. We will move on.
I I I get taking the time, but is that really her problem? I mean, seriously, I listened to the thing already, so it's not like it's a um my first time review type deal. I've already listened to this, so I'm listening to it for the second time. Girl, you wish that was your problem.
But I could have swore you said you don't have a quantities problem, you have a quality problem. That's what I thought you said.
Initially when I came on, I said was talking about how quickly people want to be in a relationship. You said, "What type of man are you looking for?" And I said, "Well, one who wants to be friends first, want to have fun, be friends, and let things unfold organically."
No, 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 no.
That's
I'm
the
not
issue
talking
I'm
about
running
that
into.
part. I'm not talking about that part. Let's be clear. You said, Kendra, I want to be clear. I don't have a quantity problem. Plenty of men are trying to date me. It's the quality.
Oh, it doesn't. I'm gonna tell you like this: I don't have a problem at all getting men to approach me or ask me on dates or anything. It's
Bitch, not the rewind.
finding a quality of men. There's no issue with the quantity. It's the certain type and the quality. So,
That's what you said. We're
well,
going to move forward,
I
but
did
that's what
say,
you said.
yeah. All right, that's fine.
Okay, we're going to keep going. All right. Does the guy have to look a certain way?
No,
No. You don't care how he looks.
no, not necessarily. Because I mean, no, not at all.
Okay. What about money? Should he make a certain amount of money?
He doesn't have to make a certain amount of money, but I'm not doing build a bear. I'm not doing at this age. I'm gonna be 43. I'm dating somebody who's my age, so you should have already had some sort of something established. So you can't still be trying to be a rapper or whatever, just starting your career, or you have all these dreams and hoping that somebody's going to help you get there. So at least have yourself somewhat established.
Okay. Fair enough. Let's do the Kendra Cam, Veronica.
I do want to preface that I was in pajamas. I just got out of the shower and I was in pajamas, but okay. Well, I didn't say pajamas, but what?
All your tattoos are real? Oh, you have a lot
They
of
are,
tattoos.
yeah, they are all real.
Okay, you have a nice you have a nice body. How many tattoos do you have?
42.
42. Okay, okay.
And it's so crazy because real talk, like my relative is an RN and she tied it up. And she light skinned. but she don't look nothing like her.
So, Veronica, when was your last relationship?
Last last year, last June.
Last year,
Well, that
last
was the
June.
end of it. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, because you was married, correct?
Right. But you know when if you've been through a divorce, you know that the
I
relationship is
never
over
been through a
long before the
divorce.
actual. Okay. Well, or any relationship or breakup, usually the relationship is over long before you actually, break up, especially in a marriage. It's usually over way before it's actually finalized and everything. So,
Okay, okay. Um, so you don't have to answer, but I'm gonna ask. When's the last time you was intimate with someone?
New Year's Eve.
Now wait a goddamn minute. What is today? Is the 18th. We going to the calendar, child, because New Year's Eve was first would have been a month. The first of February is a month, and then we going into the second month. So, bitch, you talking about somebody moving fast and being hypersexual, bitch. I think her and my peoples is actually related because they say the same damn dumb bullshit. What are you talking, ma'am? Girl,
New Year's. Oh, was that? Oh, that was a while ago. All right. What are three flaws you have to work on when it comes to a relationship?
Things I could do better on is I think being really over understanding people too much and being caring, giving too much. So when somebody's not matching energy,
wait a goddamn minute. She said her flaws is overstanding and what? Bitch. I'm sorry I keep saying bitch, y'all, but I just can't help it. I mean, I can help it, but it just rolls off the tongue.
still giving 110%. So I struggle with um, I don't know how to give any less. So it's like you get
I'm so sick of these people with these flaws that's really not flaws that makes that actually makes them look good. That is not a flaw, ma'am.
in all of me and the best of me. So giving and then giving too much for people who aren't deserving, and then um, yeah, probably tolerance and patience. Just really kind of being more understanding, being tolerant of people.
Uh,
Okay. I have a couple of paid questions for you. You ready for them?
Okay.
Okay. Let's start with um, L double I be paying to ask everybody questions, child. He said this. I think it's a guy. He
I do
said,
want to answer this real quick though. This is you could tell this is my natural body. Everybody's got something to say. I am everything matches, and you could tell. And if you can go look at my social media, and you could tell I've been like this all my life. I'm Afro Latina, and if y'all know, Latin women and Black women are naturally built this way. So yeah,
okay. So anybody that had concerns about her body, it is authentic. She's never had no body surgery. This is the body. She got it from her mama and her daddy.
my mama on my social media, you can see her too. Miss Olivia was a hottie in her day too. So and still is at 63.
Not the mama is a hottie too. Okay, here we go, honey. Um, Wait, where was okay? This one. L double I sent money to say how you look attract the guys you get. And most men have tattoos, but we really don't want to marry a woman that looks like us, respectfully so. So you was married. Did your last husband have tattoos?
He only had like two when we met, but he ended up getting a whole lot more while we were married.
Okay, okay,
I don't think she asked her, did she get her tattoos before or after the marriage? That would be my question.
okay. Um, HV Pookie said, quality men are men who know what they want and go after it. Like the men, she said, wants to move faster. I think she is confused. So I guess he was saying how you said earlier there were some men that wanted to move faster, but then you wanted to move slow.
I'm not confused. I'm very clear about that. I still feel like we've only been on 3 dates, and by 3 dates, you're already wanting to be monogamous. We still don't know one another. We can still continue to date and get to know each other, but we don't have to lock things down. I get that, like he says, men know what they want. They want to be able to, they know what they want and they're ready to move forward. Great, I get that. But we don't have to lock things down. We can just say, hey, we're choosing to continue to spend time and get to know one another. But yeah, I don't feel like I'm confused about it. It's very clear for me. I understand exactly what I'm looking for, but if it doesn't work for them, it doesn't work. I've been on dates
So
with
I'm assuming that that guy that wants to lock things down, do you like him back?
Yeah, I actually went on a date a couple of weeks ago with a fellow who was really nice. He was an attractive guy. The date was great. We had a really great time. Everything flowed really well. But he was moving too fast. He was like, listen, I really could see myself being with you, that kind of thing, all of this stuff. And I just was like, well, hey, let's just take our time. Let's just be friends first. And he said to me, I have enough friends. I don't need another lady friend. Either you want to be, move forward as my woman, or there's really no need for us to keep in touch. And I said, well, I respect that. And that's not where I am now. I really would like to get to know you a little more. So we parted ways that day, even though the date went great and everything was well. We weren't in alignment with where we
Wow,
wanted to
that's
go with it.
interesting. Well, that's interesting. I feel like I guess it goes both ways. There's some women who are like, these guys don't want to.
What she claimed now, where the confusing part comes in is, I guess she called herself speaking in general terms in the beginning, and then she goes on to say that this guy asked her to be monogamous on the first date. Like, girl, what are you talking about? So I don't know if is she saying this guy asked her about a third date to be monogamous? Girl, what?
Commit, and all they want to do is date and string you along, and that irritates them. You're saying the opposite to be true. This guy who you actually did like was ready to lock it down, but you didn't want to lock it down.
Right, right. I mean, it's not that it's just a timing thing. Like, let just I'm not ready to just rush right in. But I understand what he's saying. A lot of men by this time, and y'all gonna probably be mad, but a lot by this time, a lot of men they already used and abused. Y'all done lied and cheated and did all this stuff and got all that out y'all system. And now you're ready. You know exactly what you want. Now you're ready to move forward with that. That's the majority of the men. Then you do have that small group who have never been married.
Well, damn, don't ain't that how you want them? Shit, the ones that's got the cheating out their system. I mean, hell, sign me up, bitch.
Don't have any children. Those are the unicorns in the group that are doing really well, like the fella that you had on right before, that are doing really well. They never, all of those things. So they check off all of those boxes. They know exactly what they want because now they're getting later in life and they want it. And that's why I don't go after those is I don't want any more children. My children, I travel a whole lot. My children are older. My oldest just came in from work now. He does the
Girl, let's be clear. A single man with no kids is not even. Girl, he not gonna approach you for nothing long term. So what in the hell are you talking about?
same. He's independent. I'm not about to have nobody else's children and I don't want to play stepmom to no young kids. So those men, those younger, that 38, kind of 37, 38, 39, 40, that don't have any kids and never been married, that's what they're looking for. They want to lock somebody down and be married and have children. That's not me. I don't want to do that. So that eliminates a whole group of guys out.
So, Veronica, respectfully, so now I'm confused because I feel like you talked about three types of men, and none of them are the ones you want. You don't want the guy and I agree with this guy. The one is like, "What your mouth do?" That's disrespectful, trying to have sex with you fast. So you don't want that guy. You don't want the guy who you actually like, but is ready to be in a relationship. You don't want a man that's younger. So what is the ideal man? Because now I'm confused. Like, who would be the perfect type of guy for you then?
It's not that I wouldn't date a younger guy. What I'm saying is the guy who's never been married and wants kids, I'm not willing to have children. I don't want to have any more
Who asked her about dating a younger guy? What the hell?
children. So I wouldn't date him because, and then there's those guys who would say, oh, that's okay. If I have kids, fine. If I don't. But what ends up happening is 2 years down the road, now you're resentful because you didn't have children and you spent all this time with me and you could have married someone and had children with them. So I'm not going to take that away from you when you know that you want children. So it's not that I
Okay,
wouldn't
no, I
date a
get
younger
that.
guy.
Okay,
Yeah. If you've
okay,
never been
gotcha.
married and you don't have children, I wouldn't date you. I don't think that's fair. I mean, I've lived my life. You haven't.
That's fair. Okay,
So
I
yeah,
understand that.
I'm not trying to, yeah, I don't want to
I
confuse you.
understand that now. Now that we explain it more. You don't want to have any more kids. So if a guy doesn't have kids, you obviously wouldn't be the guy. Excuse me, the woman for him. I get that. All right, Veronica, what is the age range you want to date? You're 43.
38 to 55, probably somewhere around there.
Okay, 55. Should he be in South Carolina?
No, not necessarily. I travel a lot.
Okay. Now why would a guy be lucky to be with you, honey?
I think that every person, every relationship I've been in, every ex, we're still really good friends. I think that I've been a really good asset in their life, and it really helped to elevate them. It's one of my skill sets.
Now wait a minute. Wouldn't a man now would a man have a problem with somebody with their woman being really good friends with all their exes? Is that not a problem? I don't know. Maybe she really need to go back to them exes and find out why it didn't work or what she could do differently. And I think that's a lot of women's problem is that they really don't want to hear how they can change, you know, to um change, change for a man. Okay, and let's just be blunt. And not change in a sense where, like, for example, I have a friend that, like, she she overdoes it for the guys that she gets in a relationship with. Okay, and just take me at my word, right? And so I'm like, listen, you can't do you can't give everybody the same kind of treatment. You get what I'm saying? So with that being said, I'm like, just bring it back a little bit and just, you know, you don't have to change, but just scale it back a little bit. Stop fucking doing everything for every guy. Like, my God, it's just crazy.
So they all have built businesses, helped them build really good businesses. They've all been successful. So I think that there's a lot that I bring to that. We've done a lot of growth and things together. So I just think that I would be a great enhancement in their life as a friend, as a partner, as many things. So
Okay.
I just know
This
how
is
to
a
motivate
female.
them.
This is a female. This is not a guy. So Alicia V spent money to say, girl, you're in your 40s. You'll be 80 and still single. You shouldn't be as picky as you are, especially since you like the guy you went on a date with.
Now, let me give my opinion about that first. Um, yes, so I agree with that to an extent because it's like, listen, ma'am, you have this picture of this guy, this perfect guy, or maybe not necessarily perfect, but um, people are gonna come with their flaws, and as long as you do a background check and you meet a couple family members, I mean, obviously, you approach the situation the way you feel most comfortable. But stop acting like you have all of these options. You know what I'm saying? Because she's gonna go on to say, well, if I don't get married till I'm 60, basically it is what it is. Yeah, and that's the problem. But I mean, listen, you know, sometimes it's hard to face the wall, because I don't want to wait till I'm 60 to meet my person, which means this lady is 42. So you mean to tell me you got to wait another 18 years for your man? Girl. And I get it. Like it's serial killers out there, bitch. I don't want to be cut up and put in the trunk either. But at the same time, you know, this so-called standard gonna have you single for a much longer time because at the end of the day, do you really ever know somebody? Shit. And I'm not saying like again, she could do what she want to do, and when you get to a point in life where she don't have the options that she's trying to pretend that she has. Okay, so when you're in a corner or your pool is limited, you know what I'm saying? This so-called guy that she claimed, he was ready to say on the first date, talking about, I'm ready to be exclusive or whatever, which I don't believe. Um, Girl, you better figure something out. That's all I got to say. These women is delusional as hell, y'all.
Okay, that's her opinion.
And Kendra, she gave her the business. This was a very well thought out back and forth. Like I really did kind of like enjoy like her um pushback, so
That's your opinion, Alicia.
That's her
Can I ask
opinion,
you
and
this
I
though?
feel and I feel like I don't have to settle. Like there is, I feel like I don't have to accept it. I don't feel like, oh my gosh, I'm aging, I'm this, I'm that. People meet somebody in their 60s and fall in love and be married. I don't have to just settle for somebody or accept something that I'm not ready for just because I feel like there's a clock that's ticking. I don't have to do that. I come with my own everything. So I'm looking for somebody who's going to enhance my life, whose life is in alignment with mine. They want to travel, they want to do the same things that I want to do, and they understand how important it is to really be like spiritual partners first, to understand each other on a soul level before it is like before anything else. So I'm
Well, I
looking
guess
for a
that's
different
why
type
I
of
asked.
person.
Right. Well, this is where I think we're all confused because we thought the way you described it, you said the guy that was trying to lock you down, you really liked him. You liked him back. And that's why I said, well, you must not like the men that want to lock you down. But then you said, no, I did like him, but he wanted to lock me down too fast. So, and then now you're saying you shouldn't have to settle. So is it more fair to say that
I think that's unfair after a first date to say, well, if you're not ready
you
to
said
be
it was
my
three
woman.
dates? You said it
No,
was
no,
three
no, no,
dates.
no. That was the first date. That was the very first date. That was the very first date we had went on. We had only spoken for a month, video, face chat, and that type of thing for about a month before we went on our first date. We went on our first date. It was a great first date. We had a good time. And then after that, it was like, hey, well, what are we doing? What do you want? What's our next step? And I'm like, well, let's just continue to be friends and see how things unfold. And he was like, I don't want another friend. So yeah, I don't think that that's fair to give me an ultimatum on the after the first date. Either be my woman, or if not, I don't need another friend.
Well, listen, I agree to that too. I thought you said it was after the third date, so maybe
First
I
date.
heard you wrong. Oh, they're saying no. You did say three dates, because I would
No,
agree
I
after
was
the first. They're
I'm
saying no. You
not
definitely
that
said the third
not in
date.
that situation. I was talking about like I get it. I was talking in different situations when you date, like after the first, second, or third date. I was talking about that.
No,
But
but
this
okay, hold
particular
on,
date was the
Veronica.
first date.
Veronica, hold on. But we're talking specifically about the example because we went from quantity, and then you said you have quality options, and then in one of the quality options, you said after the third date he was ready to lock it down, and you were not. So that's what that lady is responding to. Now you're saying, I think everyone agrees after the first date, someone trying to lock you down. Yes, we could agree to that. But that's why I said this guy after the third date, did you like him? Because most women, if they really like a guy after the third date, they would be excited that he's ready to just be committed and see where it goes. So,
Well, this
I mean,
particular
either
guy,
we
I'm
all
sorry, I
heard
didn't
you
mean to
wrong,
confuse you.
or
Yeah, I
maybe
didn't
we
mean to
all
confuse
heard
you.
you
This
wrong.
particular guy was just one. It was one date. We didn't make it to a third date. It was just one date because I got placed with the ultimatum of either you're my girl or not. So
So,
we
what
didn't
was
make
the
it to a
guy
third
that
date.
happened after 3 dates?
I didn't say that I went on a date with the three guys. I think I was saying that, like, I was giving an example of like one dates or after 3 dates. I'm like, oh, after 3 dates, they're ready to make you their girl. I wasn't talking about specifically about him. I was just saying in general that men after a couple of dates, they're ready to just be like completely monogamous and want to lock you down and ready to talk about marriage. I'm not confused. I'm very clear about that. I still feel like we've only been on.
What? Is this the second time she had to go back and rewind? What the girls? I can't wait till they get to the comments.
On 3 dates, and by 3 dates you're already wanting to be monogamous. We still don't know one another. We can still continue to date and get to know each other, but we don't have to lock things down. I get that, like he says, men know what they want.
All right, let's get into the comment section. Lord have mercy, this child. All right, so Rocket City said men could look at women with a crazy amount of tattoos as being edgy or have a past of running with street dudes. Tattoo sleeves and a wedding dress may not be appealing to a lot of respectable men. Some view them as being masculine. Ooh, child. I actually know somebody that had a female that had arm tattoos that got married in the dress looking like biker Barbie. The tattoos disqualify her for the man she wants. The men she qualifies for are the men she attracts. I agree. I'm starting to get hungry, y'all. Imagine having an argument with someone like this. She's the type to forget her argument but still continue to argue. She has a lot of masculine energy. Yeah, it's a lot of I got my own, I got this, I got that. Listen, you can have it all, but that's just not something you women like. Seriously, y'all women need to stop that. I got this. I got my own house. I pay my own bills. My kids go to private school. I got my core. This, that, and the third. It just, I mean, it just gives off like it gives off masculine energy, you know. And so many women, time after time, they come on here with that same old bullshit. Like, bitch, we know you pay your bills. You, who else gonna pay them? Shit, that's why you're here, cause you're looking for a man. But I really I get it now. Like I try to pride myself in understanding the man's perspective a lot better now too, or at all for that matter. Um, but I really get that now. Like that's just not. I don't think for a lot of men that that's something that turns them on. I guess you could say. Um, maybe if you were like, I something like I think women should just stop saying that altogether. Just stop talking about what you have. And as far as what you have to offer a man, can we hear some I offer him peace, tranquility, um, you know, uh stability as far as, just well, I don't know if stability is a good word. But I wanna rub his feet, massage his feet, um, give him a manicure, massage his scalp, um, you know, something like that, bitch. Y'all be on here. I got my own car. I got my own. I hope you supposed to. But I think you would catch more flies with honey. Talk about what you're gonna do for your man. Talk about him as if he already fucking exists, bitch. Shit, I'll be like, listen, when my man get home, I'm gonna have his bath water ready, his feet. Bath water ready, dinner cooked. I'm gonna be butt naked. Um, I'm gonna massage his feet, massage his scalp, and let him watch his football game. I know how to give my man his space. I know how to keep the peace, and I want to. I have my man's back. Okay, we are one. That type of thing. Y'all bitches on here talking about. I pay my bills. I pay the bills. I pay the cost to be to walk around here. Oh yeah, that's real sexy. um, that's just so crazy. It's just crazy. And I don't claim to be knowing all. You know, I don't claim to be some kind of know it all. But damn, bitch, y'all better listen to some men, and y'all better, and definitely talk to some married women. I pride myself on listening and coming into an awareness. Um, anyway, that's about me, child. Being tatted up and down does not signify traditional female stability, logical decision making. Okay. She still thinks she's 17 years old. Girl packed up. I don't like lots of tattoos on men, but people love tattoos. There's a lid for every pot. I mean, yeah, it's not that she obviously it's not that she can't get a man, but the lid for every pot, she shit. She said her lids ain't up to par. So, but I'm sure somebody like it should. Women, you can't give your best to the worst minute, all in the name of being young and having fun, and think a decent man is supposed to save you. Hmm. Tats on a woman has limit of acceptability for most men. Small tats are cool, but when you get to full sleeves, neck tats, face tats, turn off. And generally speaking, the higher quality of man you're looking for, the less acceptable he will be of tats. Do with that what you will. Absolutely. I mean, 1,000%. This person said the first question my husband asked me was how many children do I have. The second question was how many tattoos and piercings. Although I had none of the above, he later said those were absolute deal breakers, and it was the reason he was still single when we met. Child. And going back to this person that I have in my mind, like she's all tatted up, and amongst other things, other issues, still can't attract a decent man. And I'm not even saying that it's just the tattoos, but they do look a little. I mean, for someone who is not, and good luck. Listen, she need to go to tattoo parties or tattoo parlors or something, and maybe find her man there because there are men that they don't care or that's attractive. Um, but for this, her talking about this quality guy, and I don't know, everybody's quality is different because a lot of women they want a man, they want uh I don't know, Idris Elba with some edge. They want a man with some edge, you know, a thug with some or a nice guy with some edge. I don't know. They don't. It doesn't really make sense, but whatever. Um, CC Nelson says, "Oh, wait, this person, she's intelligent and logical. I wish her well." CC Nelson says, "I completely understand or even overstand, Veronica. You will find what you're looking for. You're beautiful and smart." Let's see the replies. I'm interested to see the replies. You know, All right, that's not what I thought it was going to be. When she was talking about just dating and taking things slow and going with the flow, I don't personally agree with that because time will be wasted and obviously options are still being open and played out on both sides. That's another big issue with dating is that people do not establish that the outcome is a serious relationship and eventually marriage. Going with the flow typically does not lead anywhere. That's just my opinion. I shout out to this person WTV whatever. Um, yeah, I agree too because I noticed within my own self. I had a very nonchalant attitude. Let's just go, going with the folks, same type of deal. And you really will not, you really can't expect a serious outcome with that for the most part. Um, so yeah, I definitely agree with that. Something that I had to deal with and address because I'm like, bitch. I mean, I was just so like, just kind of like similar to her in that respect. Just go with the flow type deal. And they say, you make plans and God laughs, and I agree with that. But also, you have to be at least be intentional about certain things. It may not go the way that you thought it would go, um, but you still have to be intentional. Otherwise, it's just whatever. If it happens, it happens, or when it happens, whatever. Okay, K99. Blah, blah, blah. Let's take time to get to know each other. It's code for keep taking me out, and maybe someday after you spend enough money, I may sleep with you. Men have learned, ladies. We know for men that you're into it doesn't take long getting to know you process. When a guy hears that, he hears I'm not that into you, and I noticed that even though she claims I didn't realize she had a 30-day policy for the last time somebody was intimate with somebody. She's going on 2 months that she hasn't had sex, but it has the nerve to bring up this hypersexual attitude. She claims that men approach her have. Bitch, you just had sex 2 months ago with somebody that ain't your man, obviously. So what's the issue? So that's why, yeah, I kind of agree with this whole, you know, her talking about she don't want somebody asking her allegedly on the first date to be monogamous. I don't even believe that shit for 1 second. But anyway, the entire society is over sexualized now, especially meeting online. She's just she's just out of a marriage, so the dating scene is jarring. She's also smart not to jump into a relationship so quickly because divorce is traumatic to feel. I personally think she's the alternative and definitely not street. She definitely doesn't need that typical conservative black man. Kendra acts like women without tattoos don't get acts with that mouth do, or that black women in general are coming across a whole bunch of quality men. That's just not the case. Okay, that's an interesting point. Um, Black women in general are basically she's saying black women in general aren't coming across a bunch of quality men. So I think it's age specific, and I mean it's true to a point. I mean the fact of the matter is women outnumber women, or women outnumber men, whatever the ratio is. Um, at least I don't know, 3 to 1, 4 to 1. I don't. There's at least what like 2 women for every 1 man or something like that. So I mean, I have opinions about that because The reason for this too is, the fact that depending on your age, that you're not coming across quality men is an age thing too. Because her age, our age, my age, I'm 40. I'll be 45. Kendra's already 45, or Kendra will be 45, I believe, and this lady's 42. Our age group, you have to realize that these men are either married or in long term relationships, or they already, you know, took a vow of, bachelor dumb. I know that's not a word, but so yeah, you're not gonna come across a lot of anything past a certain age. It just is what it is. Um, and that's why a lot, when you do find a quality guy, bitch, you better hold on to his ass for dear life. I ain't letting you go. They gonna have to fight me, child. They gonna have to beat me down, jump me, um, and I don't know, knock me over upside the head, child, put me in a coma because passes. It is an age thing, whether you don't want to acknowledge it or not. So it just is what it is. So Kendra don't have to act like, women without tattoos don't get asked what that mouth do. Girl, shut up. Just shut up. Um, I never saw a doctor with tattoos. I've had multiple surgeries. I have not seen it. Same as with nurses. 43 and just a long list of nothingness and baggage. I'm tired and exhausted from this interview. What am I getting for coupling up with this woman? Child. Tattoos are not a small thing like she says it is. She's attracted to tattooed men, and now she's judging them and saying they're not good enough for her. But as we all have been through the Kendra school, you attract what you are. Her. That's on her. Shout out to Bev Honey. Kendra's an interviewing expert. She listens to people who don't hear themselves. DGen 2002 says I have tats. I'm not masculine, but I understand there are people that don't like them. I'm not delusional about them. Good for her. Veronica's on a rejection trip, face palming guys just because. Her reasons are all over the place. When I was younger, I wanted tattoos, but realized there was something I did not want on my body as I age. Seeing how people perceive women with many tattoos, I'm glad I didn't get tatted up. Dating is already difficult with zero tattoos. Preach on, girl. Jim and Jay says she's getting her own way. 1,000%. 1,000%. She's all over the place. Again, this video is going on way too long. She needs to self-reflect, talk to her exes, and talk to some married friends. But she's already been married. But at the same time, she can still get another perspective. People need to, just because she's been married, um, talk to somebody that's been married longer so you can get a different perspective. Because although she does have experience being a married woman, she could be jaded, she could be bitter. Um, so there's that. I have 3 tattoos on my inner arm that aren't noticeable unless I lift my arm. I was considering getting half a sleeve, that I realized I like the discreetness of my placement. Glad I listened to my spirit. Yes, sis. Glad. Good for you. She is recently divorced. That's why she's hesitant to get serious so fast. So it seems she's dating people who have been single for a while and are on a different page. But if she's not ready, then don't date. Yeah, exactly. I lost track of how long she been single. Um, but according to this, if she recently got divorced, bitch, first of all, Kendra need to start asking these people about therapy. Because if she just recently got divorced, you know, and people, then everybody that call needs some type of therapy, including myself, and I've been there, done that. And I said I'm self-aware now. Huh? But if that's the case, people really need to go sit down and talk to somebody before they really start back out dating again. Don't have a problem with women with tattoos, just depends on what the placement is. Um, no chestnut face, no broken heart, or ex's names. And again, the person that I know, child, she got about 3 or 4 different names on her body, child. It doesn't take a man that long if he knows what he wants. We control access to the relationship, but she isn't ready for a relationship. She just wants to be friends with benefits. Stop lying to her. Tattoos are a big deal on a heterosexual woman, and she is disqualified because of hers. I mean, she's certainly not gonna get the type of guy she apparently that she thinks she deserves. Um, I mean, I get settling, but if you don't have the option, I get not settling, not wanting to settle, but girl, you better assess your options and then go back to the drawing board. How about that? As a woman, I concur with most women when it comes, or most men when it comes to sleeve tattoos. I will not entertain a man with sleeve tattoos. It's unattractive to me. I see a lot of tattoo men working out in the gym, and I can't look past the tattoos. Now, I like tattoos, or I don't mind them. They don't matter to me. Um, Kendra's right. How you present is going to dictate how you're treated. One or two small tattoos that can easily be covered is acceptable. Now, this is a woman, apparently, Jennifer Lewis. Is acceptable with the under 50 crowd, especially if the tattoos represent something like surviving cancer or death of a loved one. However, when you're covered in tats, a man is going to assume that you are rough, easy, low class, and kinky. That's a good. I mean, listen, you're going to attract a certain type of man, like the guy who's going to try to sex you up quickly. That's just the facts. It stinks because I can tell this woman is well spoken and seems to have other aspects of her life together. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, people judge. That's just what we do as human beings, and you have to. I hate when people say, I don't judge people. I don't judge." How else you gonna protect yourself? You have to judge. Um, my relative, you know, what was I going? I had a thought. I had a thought, but I forgot. Um, tattoos equal 43-year-old, 2 kids, 2 different dads, one baby daddy, and one ex husband. No thanks, man. We're good over here. It's never okay to demean, disrespect, and dehumanize anyone because of their looks. But can we please be honest as a society and stop acting like this world is not going to treat you a certain way based upon how you represent? These women know good and well they look at a man different based upon the way he presents himself. They're going to be looked and engaged in the same way. Um, yeah, all that people they love, all that. I don't judge. I don't judge. Girl, shut up. Do tattoos, Kevin Hunter? Do tattoos determine the men we attract? Veronica answered the question for herself by the end. Um, This guy said he remembered dating a woman who had Polly and big gothic letters across her lower back 20 years ago. Gemini Love said I used to want a whole bunch of tattoos. I only ended up having one small, deeply personal one. My husband told me that he wouldn't have taken me seriously and married me if I did. And my husband's so handsome, so it's worth giving up. Tattoos don't define who I am. This person said yes, it actually does. I'll try to see if I can find another woman before I close this out. Speaking for a lot of men, when I see multiple tattoos, I think of some form of trauma. Not always the case, but most of the time we ask, meaning the meaning behind one, it leads that way. What that mouth do? Question mark. Oddly specific example. Sidebar is amazing that her kids are. Hey, okay, and you know what? That's so crazy. It just came to me because, like I said, I have a relative who is tatted up like that, and she's also in nursing. And when it comes to that statement, what that mouth do? Um, so this relative, they said they went out with a guy and they felt like he was judging them, and made her feel like she was ratchet. And I'm like, bitch, you are ratchet. I said that in a comment one time. So it definitely is, you know, I mean, it's going to attract what it's going to attract. And listen, I mean, if you can't get rid of them, you can't afford the surgery to get rid of them, then it just is what it is. Um, I I wish somebody would say something about what that mouth do to me, bitch, at 44 years old. Yo, that shit is wild. But so yeah, like I don't think you get a lot of respect when it comes to that. You know, just from the outside looking in, like is unless it's a man that appreciates tattoos or really likes them, they're not gonna look at you the same way. So, I mean, you can have all the standards you want, but bitch, that man got standards too. How about that? You know, and you talking about, well, sometimes you be 60. That's a coping mechanism because bitch, who want to wait another 18 years to get a man? You looking for a man now? You want to wait 18 more years? Hell, fancy capitalist said attraction is not symmetrical. Okay, I'm about to wrap this up. That's like saying since men are generally taller than women with a flatter and broader chest, that's what they would be looking for in a woman. Generally, men are attracted mostly to the opposite physical features we have. Yeah. This is a female quiet storm. Loneliness takes a silent toll on men's mental health that results in conditions like depression or anxiety. Girl, what? Okay, Tony Tarantula. Here you go. Sis should start hanging around motorcycle clubs and tattoo parlors. Well, shit, the bitch says she ride a bike, don't she? So she better go on down to the. That's exactly where she needs to go because tattoos, they're gonna attract a specific kind of man. Obviously, clearly, and that just is what it is. You can have all the standards you want, honey child, baby girl, but you know, unless that man that you want wants you, I think you need to buy some dog food. or buy a dog. She has morals and standards, a great woman, get in and know she's worth it. I don't necessarily know about the morals and standards, but okay. I mean, you talking about you just had sex 2 months ago and blah blah blah, whatever, whatever. She was speaking in general, but I asked about. That's what I said too. She was speaking in general, but it was just, it was a lot. All right, I want a couple more women, and I'm gonna wrap it up. Stephanie says she has a point about men not wanting to be friends and get serious too quickly. It's a form of love bombing for sure. Oh, this is the one I commented on. I say, yeah, but I'm not buying that some guy she just met asked her to be exclusive on the first date. Kendra Sport said she claimed men are asking to marry her after the first date. She was confused because she's trying to protect her ego. Men are trying to get sex fast, and she just wants to be quote unquote friends. Tattoos aren't a small thing when you have 42 of them, right? I mean, and this is from a woman. That's what I said. Like, bitch, small wear. Three topics I've given up trying to explain to women is how modest quality men view weed, wigs, salacious content, OnlyFans, tattoos. No matter how you explain how men feel about these topics, they will argue the opposite until the cows come home. Even when reality is clearly reflected in what men say to be true. Most women will hold on to their opinion and wonder why they don't get the results in life that they want. All right, y'all. I'm gonna wrap this up. Thank y'all for tuning in. I will see y'all in the next